I am looking at a blank piece of paper and you tell me this is awesome. It is awesome. Because what we found, and we came up with this idea, by the way, was sitting down with some of our very large customers and watching them use our product. There's a novel idea. We've been in business for a long time. So we finally sat down with our biggest customer and watched them actually use our technology. And what we came up with is that people were so focused as a service desk agent on filling out a form, that classic incident form you all know and love, that they lost focus of a conversation with the customer. We said, you know what, we can do better than that. We're a technology company. We're into automation. Let's automate the interaction. And let's make it into it. So you can see right up there, it says begin by entering a person's name, email, login ID, or corporate ID after the @ symbol. I can do that. So somebody calls me up, and it happens to be Joe. I just do @Joe. So in the background, the system's going to try to identify that guy for me, and I can pick him. So I'm talking to Joe. It was that easy. I didn't have to say, give me your last name. Just tell me your name. Right? Hey, how you doing, Joe? I put him in and I identify him. Now I immediately have some key information about the guy. Right? I know what he wants, or I know what organization he works for, what his job site is. More importantly, I know a couple of other 2 key factors. He's had 14 escalations in the last month, and when he gave us a service rating, we only got 2 out of 5 stars. I probably ought to do a better job with Joe today if I can. So Joe's asking me about a question about VPNs. So you notice when I start typing what his issue is, immediately off to the right, I start bringing back resources. Bringing back resources to help the service desk agent actually solve Joe's problem as fast as I possibly can, including automated searches into things like templates to create the ticket or knowledge entries that could help me solve what the guy's issue is. So it turns out Joe's talking about setting up actually iOS on his smart, VPN on his iOS device, probably a smartphone. And we go to that knowledge base article, and immediately we have some information and context. If you use RPM in our classic interface, you know you have to kind of jump out of the ticket. We do a search, a new screen comes up. I have to click through some results to get where I want. I just spent a bunch of clicks and time doing something. So what did we do? Did we add a function that really didn't exist before? No. RKM existed before. There was the ability to go do the same kind of query I just did. But it didn't do it for you. So this whole idea of let's have the system do this stuff for me without having me to leave the context of the actual ticket. So now I have a solution here that I could use, right? I could go ahead and, basically save this to the ticket, save and resolve, right? Or use that solution to solve the ticket. Right? If I still had to create a ticket, I could even basically come in here and use a template to create that ticket. If I wanted to know what was in that template, I could just drive into it a little bit. It'll tell me what fields get filled out with what values. Right? So I have some idea of how I'm operating. And it's that simple to just go ahead and then hit create the ticket, and I'll have a new incident. Right? People have adopted this framework, and they've really invested in the knowledge management aspects of this. They've gotten up to a 70% increase in productivity of their service desk. Absolutely amazing. If you'd asked me several years ago before we came up with this product whether that was possible, I probably would have said no. In fact, I probably would have said I thought we've matured this thing to the point it's ITIL v3 compliant. We do all these functions for incident management. What more is there we could create or do that would be interesting, helpful, and really cut this down? So I think the guys who came up with this, brilliant. I love it. I think if you give it a chance, you're going to love it too. One of the main reasons that people are going to move to something like Remedy 9 and start using Remedy with Smart IT, this kind of functionality, right? This kind of productivity improvement. So let's take a look at a guided change request creation. So we talked about that also. So I can come into a change request, and I've got all my templates. We're all used to change request templates, right? I could do something like, say install, and it's search back, bring all my install templates, create one, and off it runs. And that's great. That's great functionality. But what if it was something that I didn't create a template for that I wanted? I have to create it from scratch. Like I said, I only do this a couple of times a year. Well, let's see. Let's start from scratch. So what's the first thing I want to know? Well, instead of having somebody really memorize what all these things mean and pick the right one, why don't I ask them up front? Is this an emergency? Is it a standard change, normal change? Well, I think, my change must follow the change management process, including approval, so I'm pretty sure I have a normal change, so I'll just click on that. Then I give it some information. Right? So, update on a server. Right? I could have a change description. And I have some pre-populated defaults that I have in here, which are all good to me. I'm going to go to my next step. So you notice we have some steps. I filled out the basics, and my next step is I want to do a CI. So I happen to know the name of my machine, so I'll go in and search for it. And to keep you honest, I'm going to basically reduce that search right down to computer systems, because it is a server I'm talking about. So I've got my computer system, and that easily I just go in and relate it, and I'm changing it. So I created a related CI. I'm going to do my next step. I'm going to pick some dates. Well, when am I going to do this? Well, let's pick some scheduled dates on here. So maybe I'm going to do that this weekend. And pick some particular time here. Maybe I'll start at 5 p.m. and I'm going to finish it up. Quite likely about 7 p.m. And we can start seeing, we can update or take a look and see if there's any collisions. And we start seeing that our scheduling gets put into place. And I have a calendar where if I had other changes that would collide or be in the way, they could be displayed. And I can take that by, a month view. So this is my change here. I've got out here. I've got a week view kind of thing of when I'm going to do this, etc. And I have some risk questions. I'm just going to either answer my risk questions or override that risk manually. So change to be done during business hours? No. We go back easily? Yes, and that'll set some risk for me. And then I have the ability to specify certain documents that I'm going to attach to this change. So I might understand or know because of policy in my organization, hey, I need a business justification document, and I need some kind of basic backout plan. So now I'll have the idea that I'm going to have these documents actually attached to this change at some point. I can go ahead and submit it. I can submit and actually prepare an impact analysis at the point I submit this. So I related a CI to this change request, and I want to know what the potential impact is. So I'm going to submit and prepare an impact analysis in a section with this. So basically, it's going to go ahead and do this in the background. So it's working on an impact analysis right now. So I'm going to go back to one where I've already done that. And I'm on my ticket console, and we'll talk about this a little bit. Everything can be on my ticket console. Tasks and work orders and changes and incidents and service requests, etc. And I can filter those things out very simply by clicking on the filter and applying a variety of filters. Once I do have filters selected and something saved, I can save them as a preset. I've preset things like a new requests. I might have draft changes, things like this. Right? All ready for me. I go back to my assigned tickets. Say I just want to look at change requests. It's easy as clicking on that and filtering it. Now I'm just looking at changes. Got this particular change where I've done an impact analysis on that same device before. And we can take a quick look at my impact analysis, very similar to what I can do within the classic interface, right? And I can see that if I am going to change my little server, MCR or a prod 11A, that there's some downstream impacts to that, right? There's a business services effect. There's my electronic business systems. My Oracle e-business suite is impacted by taking that machine down, et cetera. So I start to understand in context, what does it mean to make a change to this device, to my organization? And I can simply, if I wanted to include one or more of these, right, and relate them to that change request, I can do as simply as selecting them and hitting the relate button. And I'll bring them over and I'll know they'll be impacted by that particular change. And while that's really cool, and I think it's awesome, we didn't really just stop there. So the next thing that happens is, that's great, that's smart IT, that's for my service desk agents, my change managers, my asset managers, et cetera, all the classic people were involved in all those great ITIL processes. But what about the most important part of my organization, which is who we do everything for as an IT department, my end user? Right? I need to make it easy for them to interoperate with me. They don't want to call me on the phone anymore. I can guarantee you, I've been doing this for a long time. I've been in IT for a long time. Even when I have an issue with a piece of technology, the first thing I do is not to pick up the phone and call someone. I can guarantee you the first thing I do is I might go to that company's website and try to answer my own question. Why would that be any different if I'm interacting with my own IT shop? Shouldn't I have some type of mechanism I can use, some portal I can go to, some application I can launch no matter where I'm at, no matter what device I'm using? If all I've got is my smartphone and I'm walking down the street and I need something, I should be able to go and get it from a device like that. Wouldn't it be great? Right? Well, it is great. It exists. It's called My IT. I use it every day as a BMC employee. It's on my work-issued phone, right? And it pushes information to me, and I request things from it. And it makes my life a lot easier because I don't have to wonder what's happening, right? If it's an important service to me, right, and there's several that are, right? I'm showing you a presentation today, right? The demo I'm driving is from our demo cloud. There's machines out in the data center in Phoenix, right? It's been turned up specifically for my use for this presentation. If the demo cloud service that I consume as an internal employee at BMC is down, I cannot do my job. I would like to know that before I get on the phone with you all. How do I do that? My IT will tell me the status of that service. So demo cloud up and running correctly. Right? Critically important to my function, and that information is pushed directly to me without me having to go anywhere else for it. So what does that look like from the context of an end user? So I'm logged in as Joe Munzer, our end user. And I'm actually on my little updates page here. So the first thing that we'll notice that's important about my IT is information that's important to Joe is pushed to him. So updates about everything the guy has submitted or asked about. I can see it state what I asked for, where it is in the process, right? I might have people I'm tracking over here on the right, and I can follow up with them. I can click into their profile. They have a timeline, right? And I can actually post things to their timeline. I can post things in my timeline. We have a mechanism for us as a group of people to communicate. And in fact, as a group, I might be a member of an actual group of folks who are tracking some particular area of knowledge or community of practice we're interested in. And we can post things and share information back and forth. And that will appear in my group list. It will get driven to my updates so that I see postings that come up there. So a classic one here, I'm in the Mac user group, and hey, I forgot a power cord. Right? Make it a simple way to do that. I guess I could email everyone in the company looking for one, or I could go directly to my community of practice and ask a question about something. And I referred to those services and their status. Again, over here on the right, Joe's following two critical services to him, Wi-Fi and the Exchange server. You can see by the orange symbol here, the Exchange server has a performance issue. So instead of this guy having to call the service desk to figure this out or complain, hey, my mail's slow or something's not going out, he'll know what's going on. The Exchange service has a problem, right? Those notifications, in fact, call them just a notification here, they're pushed to him, right? Exchange service status from available due to a performance issue. It got pushed to Joe because he's following the service, right? He could choose to have that pushed to his mobile device as an alert that pops up on the screen. I do for the things that are critical to me, and I get those notifications. It's great. If Joe's looking for something, we want to make this as easy as possible for him. You can find it. So he could look for things in a catalog, or he can search on stuff using this thing we call the smart box up here. So I'm going to search on something. Joe has a problem. He has a server on fire, and he's trying to figure out what to do. So funny example, but you notice we search a bunch of stuff, just like you saw in Smart IT. As the context of your typing, we do something in the background to help you. So what we're doing here is a set of actions or resources or things that we can look at. And in this instance, I'm going to look at a resource, which is really a knowledge article. So that same idea in the background is Remedy Knowledge Management, guys. And we're providing this interface to it. So what's the problem? My server's on fire. What am I going to do? Oh, I'll just put this over here with the rest of the fire. So maybe that answered my problem, or maybe it didn't. So if it didn't, it's simple enough. I have a real crisis on my hands, right? To go back to here, simply say get help by saying make an incident out of this. So all I did is either typed or selected from get help, exclamation point incident, and I submitted to IT. And then I can get back to what I'm doing, which in this instance I'm fighting a fire someplace, right? I don't have the time to really go and do some lengthy interaction, but I need to register this incident real quick. It's that fast. You don't see something in the catalog or your search didn't come up with a particular request that matches to what you wanted to do, go ahead and do that quick incident submit. Get back to what you're doing, right? Great function.